Hello loves, welcome back or welcome to a new video. And I thought today, as an avid fan of the Walking Dead universe, if you don't know, The Walking Dead is an apocalyptic series that follows, I guess they follows different main characters, but it started with Rick Grimes and his little family. I can like ramble on and explain too much, but it would be too much. But today we'll be exploring merch, my small little collection of merch from The Walking Dead, and most of this merch comes from the Walking Dead series by AMC, the TV series, and it's not like comic merch or merch from the other spin-off shows such as Fear the Walking Dead, The World Beyond, Tales of the Walking Dead, Daryl Dixon, The Ones Who Live. Like, it's none of that stuff. It's just merch from the original TV series that follows Rick Grimes. I hope I'm saying that right. Okay, but my collection is, I would say, pretty shabby of a collection. Like, I don't have that much stuff, and I don't intend to get anything new, at least not anytime soon, because I don't have my own place, so I don't want to just hoard a bunch of stuff until I have somewhere to display it. But yes, as an avid The Walking Dead fan, even now, I thought this would be fun to show what I do have. So starting off, we have these minifigures that I'm not too sure when the release date was, but they were these minifigures that came in surprise boxes, like before surprise boxes were a thing or like as popular as they are now. So this came, I don't know if there was one for every season of the main show, but this is one of the ones that I had gotten, and he is, or they are a walker, biter, whatever you want to call them, but covered in what looks to be some sludgy mud. I don't know what this can particularly be referencing from the show. I know there was like, there was that scene where way back early in the season, either season 3 or I don't know if that's too early or too late, but where the governor, his love interest, or like the people he was taking care of, there was this little girl. Oh, spoilers, by the way, spoilers for the whole video. She's like attacked by a walker that comes lurking out of the mud, and it landslides and it releases the walker and they get bit. So maybe this is what it's a reference to, but I don't know, could literally be referencing anything or just a random walker. But since this was a blind box series, this was the only one where I did get a duplicate of the two. Which, that's the only downside when it comes to blind boxes, as there's the chance of getting a duplicate. But at least for newer blind boxes these days, there's a lot of like communities that do a lot of trading, so if you do happen to get a duplicate, you can probably trade with somebody. But I doubt there's any community out there for these blind box figures, or at least I've never seen anybody talk about these blind box figures, so I wouldn't know. But he's just slushy in mud, as you can see, and he has his little mouth open. As you can see, his teeth, and it's a lack of nose maybe. And I don't even remember who's the manufacturer of these, but for all of the minifigures that came in this series, they all have these wide out eyes. So that's just like, I guess, a signature of these toys. But I would say these are very well made minifigures. I really do like them, and they do have a lot of attention to detail. As you can see, his ripped pants and all these goopy layers of mud. So these were some of the two, and unfortunately I don't have my full collection with me because I do have some in my dorm room and not here. But so this is like half the collection. But one that I do have here is, I wasn't too sure when I was pulling these out for this video if this was either Maggie or Tara, because I feel like it's giving very much Tara, especially with this, like, it's not, I guess, corduroy shirt or lined brown shirt that she's wearing with the rolled up sleeves. And I feel like Tara always, or had, and she did this combo of weapons with a knife and a pistol, but, or handgun, but I'm not too sure. So I don't know, it's up to, but if you guys know who this is, that would be helpful. But she is wearing black torn jeans, and she has the boots that have mud on them. And she has like pink lips. I guess not lipstick, but she has pink lips. And she has like this little bob going on. Maybe Tara had longer hair, but I'm not too sure because I know this is when she's more early introduced to the series, so I knew she had shorter hair then. So these figures, I believe, are no older than season 4, but season 5, I'm not too sure. But yes, we have either Maggie or Tara, not too sure. And then I have Noah here, the character Noah. If you don't remember him, I guess it makes sense because he wasn't around too long, I think. Yes, he did make it to Alexandria, but unfortunately had one of the saddest deaths in the show. I don't even like to talk about it. I remember watching the episode and just like being so sad I had to take a break. But I watched the series as it was coming out. I know there's a lot of newer fans that like binge watch it on Netflix or like AMC Plus, but I watched the series as it was coming out on AMC. So I forgot if it came out like every Friday or Saturday, but yeah, I don't know if it came out every Friday or Saturday, but I remember watching it with my parents and being there for all of the deaths and like going to school after and being like, no, my favorite character just died, you know. So it was quite the adventure having to wait till the next week to find out what happened to the cast. But I so do miss the, like, I love binge watching series, but I definitely miss when you had to wait for episodes to come out, because I think it just lets the show like live on longer rather than people just finishing a series and then forgetting about it. So yes, that was like a long tangent, but this is Noah. He unfortunately doesn't make it to the later seasons, but in this he's wearing his outfit that he would wear, I guess, while he was in Alexandria or after the hospital scenes that he escapes from. So he's wearing his plaid shirt. So his character has also some green pants on, he has some boots, and he has these lighter brown shoelaces. And on the back he's wearing this backpack that has some nice detailing on it. It has some straps, a buckle, and some pockets. And he looks very nervous. Very, very nervous as his eyebrows quiver. Or not quiver, but frown. So, taking a break from some of those smaller figures, I want to show you this more recent, I would say recent find. I don't know if it could count for recent. I think it was at least like 3 years ago, I'm not too sure. But this is the, I guess, produced by AMC. I'm not not too sure. It looks like it. But it is these wind-up toys. These very like cheaply made wind-up toys, and I actually found this at the 99-cent store when it was still a thing. And this is from Bully Eye Toys. And it's funny, it says ages 14 and plus, even though it's just the wind-up toy. And I have the walker. So this walker, I've never taken out of the box, but he has this gray skin tone. And he has blood dripping from his mouth, and he has blood splattered all over his face. And he's wearing, I guess, office wear. He might have been a office worker or getting off of work when the apocalypse or Monument Day happened. And on the back it says collect all 7, so I guess there was 7 of these. I remember when I did purchase this, they did have some of the other characters, but I just thought the walker was the like cutest one because they're just wind up toys. Like it would have, I don't know, I just didn't want all of them. But on the back it says that there was Andrea, Daryl, Glenn, the governor, Michonne, Rick, and the walker. So this was very early on in the show for sure, because a lot of these characters don't exist anymore, sadly. And right here, yeah, this says 2013, so these might have been out then, or sold then, or at least that's when the copyright is. But yeah, I just have all of these on display, so this is a cute addition. But moving on, I have a larger figure, more realistic character to Andrew Lincoln, who plays Rick Grimes. So let me show you that. Unfortunately, with time, I have lost his base where he couldn't stand and his pistol. But this is him. His face, I feel like, is a little bit wonky. I don't know, there's just something not right about it. But I would say, for an action, can I say an action figure, vinyl figure? I think he is very well made, and is a very nice piece to like decorate the space of your van. And here we have him in his earlier garb of the season, where he's wearing his, I think it's his police officer shirt, or at least this shirt that he wears in the earlier seasons. And he has bandages on his face. I remember watching the show and him having these bandages. Just can't remember what season it's from. Or I feel like maybe it's like after the governor comes to the prison and the like OG group kind of dissolves from one another, and he's just with his son Carl, and they're like in that house, and he's like badly injured. Maybe that's where this is from. I'm not too sure, but he has bandages on his hands as well, and he has his wristwatch, and he still has the belt from his police days, and he has his walkie-talkie that he would have talk with. And he has this walkie-talkie that he would probably talk to Morgan with. He also has these other little compartments, but if you can just see all the detailing on the belt, all these wrinkles on the shirt, and even the veins in his arms. Like, come on, the detail's crazy. The only thing, if you move it, you can move his head. That's the only part of his body that's like articulated. But it doesn't look right if you turn it any other way. So I keep it like that. But the detail is crazy on these. It's very well made. Even here though, so you can kind of take it out. But I have unfortunately lost it, but it would go in this little holster that he has for it. But yeah, I love him, he's so cute. And I have him on my bookshelf. So moving on to some of the other minifigures that I have. We just talked about Noah, but I also have Beth the Green. Beth, oh poor Beth. She's such a sweetheart, and I wish that she had some more seasons in the show for sure. She is wearing the hospital garb when she was kidnapped by that group of people. I forgot what they were called. Something Memorial Hospital. But here she has the relation she got on her face. I forgot how she got it, but it's stitched up from that doctor that killed the other doctor. And she also has a few other bandages on her wrist and on her arm here. And she has a more like saddened, worried expression on her face. But yep, have them two together. So sad that he survived, but then kind of made her sacrifice not feel worth it, because then he passed away in like a couple more episodes afterwards. I hate when that happens, but I don't know if I want to blame it on the writing or if you just live in an apocalyptic world. That's just what would happen. I don't know. But another minifigure we have here is when the wolves attacked Alexandria, and this is when one of them turned into a walker. I really like his stance as he, I guess, roars or tries to grasp at a survivor. And he has his mouth all torn up, which I really like that detail. And he's all bloody and has torn pants, torn shirt, or torn shorts more like it. And these like Converse looking sneakers on his feet. And what's fun about this set, I think, is that if you get multiple walkers in your collection, it's fine because they're walkers that could be multiple and you can like set a little scene up, I guess, which I think would be really, really cute. And then moving on again from those minifigures, I have a clothing piece that I recently acquired at the thrift store, which I have here. It is just a black hoodie, and surprisingly, it's from Universal Studios. So this Universal Studios is from Halloween Horror Nights 2015. So the show is very much still popular, as I guess this is why they would make it. I've never been to a Halloween Horror Nights, but they do have a lot of those like mazes and scary houses, so I'm thinking one of them must have been the Walking Dead theme. So this must have been, I think, a worker sweater or some merch that was sold at the park at that time, because in the inside of the sweater there's this like weird plastic piece, and then there is like a little pocket on the inside, which makes me think that this was a worker's jacket and then they had like a pocket for their radio. But I don't know, I can't think of another reason they would have this if this was just merch to be purchased. Maybe like a blood bag or something, but I don't know. But on the zipper, which makes this like a little bit different from just being a black hoodie, is it has this like plastic on the zipper lining that brings in some like nice red color, something different than just being black, I guess. But the back of the sweater is what makes it really interesting, which it has the Walking Dead logo, AMC, and then it has some walkers on the back. Sorry, it's very graphic, should have said something. But it has the some walkers with the W on their forehead from the wolves. So this is referencing, I think, when Daryl, and I forgot the other character, I don't remember who was with him, but Daryl and somebody, they go to this warehouse thinking that they found food trucks or like filled with canned foods, but then they open them up, or it's like a trap or something like that, and then they find out that these trucks are full of walkers and used to ward off other survivors or like mull them over. So I love this graphic. I think it's really cool as we see the walkers coming out of the truck, and then this one with his teeth all out, and he's a little cross-eyed, I think, too, and this gnarly drool coming out of his mouth. But oh, I can't wait to wear this sweater, and I'm always excited because I don't have a lot of Walking Dead merch, so when I found that, I was just like, yes, and it's something I can wear. Perfect. And I actually have one more item that we can wear, but okay, so this is my only other like wearable merch that I have, that I bought for a Halloween costume, which is not from the Walking Dead TV series, but it is from the Walking Dead Telltale games. This is Clementine's hat. And it's a little bit wonky, I would say, but it has some like scanned on blood onto the hat, and the D on the hat is like embroidered on, factory embroidered on. And it has an adjustable clasp on the back. I did show this hat in my first ever video, so this might look familiar. You can go back and watch it for that explanation. But yes, it's just a hat. I look very silly in hats, but it's still fun to have merch of the Telltale series, because those games, the storyline, the characters you meet in there, I love them just as much as the main cast in any of the other TV series of The Walking Dead. And I know there's like a big debate, or not debate, but like people like to say online, like, oh, is Clementine better than Ellie or something from The Last of Us, like zombie or universe? But I'm so sorry, like Clementine solos, like Ellie, she got bit. Like if she wasn't immune, that would have been done, you know. But Clementine survived on her own, and was like literally led the season 2 cast of characters. And I feel like, I don't know, I'm going off, but Clementine is a better like character to resolve conflict, I think, than Ellie is. She just acts on what she's feeling, but Clementine is actually more like a leader, I would say, and has like conflict resolution, and she has like, I don't know, morals that drive her. I don't know, just Clementine solo, so I'm so happy to have this hat. I would just say that Ellie probably has better combat skills, but if they met each other around the same age, not like where Ellie's like fast forward in time, they would definitely like no competition. Okay, I hope that made sense. But now moving on kind of fast, because this video is getting kind of long. I have this Daryl Dixon. Oh, you can see the camera. This Daryl Dixon metal die cast, and he looks a little funny. I've never seen these toys before, but I did get these as a gift. So they are very heavy, because I guess it does have metal inside. I've never seen like these kind of collectibles for another show before, but maybe they exist. But some of the other characters they had was Rick Grimes, Glenn Reed, and Michonne, which I do have Michonne. So we have him in his earlier garb, or like what he used to wear. He has his crossbow, and he's just wearing all black in this. This is the Michonne version here. She has her katana. I think this is what that sword is called, a katana. But she's just wearing what we've, I think, first see her in, or at least what she's wearing matches with Andrea. But because they have numbers on the back, such as M183, M180, I'm thinking that this type of character and like mold and use of metal also has like different characters from different shows or different popular culture. Who knows? But I think these are really fun to have in the collection. I went to a like comic store, comic like vinyl figurines store, and I saw those characters as well as like a bunch of other Walking Dead merch. Like they had I think his name's Dave. I'm forgetting names, but Dave's like RV from the like season 1, and I was like, oh, I want that. But like those characters were sold for like $40 each, and I was like, that's kind of crazy. So I was like, unfortunately not purchasing anything there. But the last thing I have to show you is another thing from the blind bag figures, which we have Morgan. Yes, I love this character for sure. And I would say this is when he first acquires this stick. I forgot what it's called. And he learns like all that like spiritual stuff from that guy in the woods. I'm forgetting like what his actual values and like virtues he learned from that, or like what it was called. But yes, it's like when he leaves from that. I love Morgan as a character, and he actually a lot of people stopped watching Fear the Walking Dead, especially when Morgan started coming in. It definitely became the Morgan show, which I love Morgan as a character, but I was sad to see the original cast of Fear the Walking Dead like kind of dissipate and no longer exist in their own show, unfortunately. But he is such a good character. Okay, so that kind of ends this little collection. So thank you for stopping by, and I hope it was relaxing and fun. And if